Hey Al,
Hey Dan,
how you doing?
good, are you?
Pretty good. Probably a little bit too much sugar in the last day and a half, but fortunately I'm sitting here with the Easter candy.
Right. I'm sure there's worse addictions, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know how many people we're gonna get. Um, I did go out with Ben today,
Okay,
and he actually had a quite. He gave me quite the nice list that he had for the street trees.
okay,
We could easily knock off this donated tree thing
yep,
in Glen Park.
okay,
But the question I had for him or for you for him
yep,
would be, and we can get into this later, but what I know he mentioned or you mentioned that he mentioned magnolias.
yep.
Um, and oh, hang on a second. Rich is calling. Hi, Rich. How are you? I'm okay. How are you? Oh, let me, didn't you get a link from, the link was on the second last email that I sent. I can, you want me to send it to you again? Okay, hang on one second. And yeah, hang on one second. Al,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm task barring you.
That's fine. I did the same to you. I'm multitasking.
All right then. You still there, Rich?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm just finding the email that Keaton sent me. All right, I'm gonna copy it. Okay, I just hit send, Rich.
Pardon me?
I just sent it.
Oh,
Did
okay.
did you get it? Did it come up in an email, Rich?
No.
Oh, from me? It should be on its way. Your email address is still the same, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Julie,
Yeah,
what's Steve Schultz's email? Or
it's like SVM or something.
Oh boy, what's going on here?
why have I not emailed him before from this one? SMSDBM.
Okay, I just sent it again.
Hey guys,
I'm at,
my video's not working, so you'll just have to look at my picture.
They look so happy.
Kind of like one of those, what did Conan O'Brien used to do it, right, with the mouth?
Make it move.
Did you get,
We got it.
okay, I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, bye. All right. Well, it's just us three. Matt, it's gonna be weird just talking to your picture.
Well,
Sorry.
otherwise I can log out, shut my computer down, start over and log back in.
Nah, don't bother with that. I'm just joking. Actually, who's the liaison to Glen Park Joint Board?
Eileen.
Eileen.
Okay. Because Ben and I went out today and we didn't get to the other parks. There's certainly areas in the there's Rich. There's certainly areas in the parks that could, we could do. But we went out to the north part of Glen Park today, and between that and just touching on the northern border of the south side of the street, we could easily get 50 trees in.
Mhm.
Many?
Yeah, there was a lot of loss on the north side of that park.
Okay.
And there used to be a white pine row that went along the northern border kind of to block the tennis club. The beautiful white dome. And most of those are gone now, for whatever reason. I don't remember there being a row, but from what I've been told there was, and then we've lost a couple over the last few years, and then there were a decent amount of ash trees out there too. So and then in the Glen Park Joint Board plan, there's plans to refurbish those, like the hedgerows, if you will. And that's why I was asking about the types of trees that we're thinking of, for the thought of the types of the trees. So hi, Nick.
Hey, Dan, how are you?
Good. So we'll wait on, I don't know if Matt is joining us. He's out of town. And Jim Lyons said he may not be. He also expressed interest in staying on. I talked to him yesterday. Because he said he was just so busy with all the work he's doing right now that he wasn't able to make the meetings. He felt bad about it. And I said, well, that's, not really that big of an issue right now. He said, yeah, he goes, I have time to do it now. So anyway, so we'll wait on Julian, hopefully. And if he doesn't show up, then we could just treat this as just a planning work session, and that's fine, because I think everybody has questions, and we just won't be able to approve the minutes officially. That's all.
Okay. Well, I have to apologize to you. I was going to try and make the meeting this morning and go out with you, and then typical case of you have a second cup of coffee and you get distracted on something else and never got back to you.
It happens to the best of us.
That's okay. It got a little screwy today anyway. Ben had an appointment with the DP or the DMV, and we ended up not going out until like 11 o'clock. So
Okay.
second cup of coffee, that's just a primer for me.
That explains it.
Yeah, it probably does.
Hey, Dan,
Yeah.
did Eric O'Neill get a hold of you, the guy on Oak Grove that wants to pay for his own tree in front of the house?
No.
I told him to text you. He found one, one that's on the approved list.
Okay.
And I suggested that he reach out to you. I'll circle back with Eric tomorrow to see what he's thinking.
Okay. My phone was a little goofed up there for a couple days and I've straightened that out. So he may have
Okay.
called and left a message, but and I didn't get it. I'm back online now, so he's at 117.
No, I think it's 79 is
Oh,
Eric's.
79.
Yeah, it's the newer house that he put up 3, 4, or 5
Right.
years ago.
Yeah. Well, I also have some news to report on a street tree list because Ben handed me a pretty nice one today, which was actually a surprise. So I haven't had the chance to do anything except take a picture of it. So.
Good.
Okay, well, we can get going here. And just treat, if someone joins us, then we'll do any official approving after that. If not, we'll just treat it like a work session. We have a guest,
We do.
Al.
Yep.
Do the
So,
introductions?
We have Ian here on the call. Ian reached out to me a couple of weeks ago about a donation for trees. This is a secret, so people shouldn't talk about it. It's a surprise for Ian's wife. She's turning 50 April 24th, if I remember correctly, Ian. And he wanted to donate 50 trees in honor of his wife turning 50. And so he reached out and he and I communicated. And so we've come together. He stopped by Village Hall today and brought his check in, and we took a little photo op, which we won't put up until later, obviously. And so he asked for around the Arbor Day weekend, which is after his wife's birthday, they're looking at May 1st, that's Saturday. And so I reached out to Ben to see, could we get trees in that time? Did we have the staff to kind of pre-dig some of the holes? And Ian has a group of people, I think you said 3 or 4 family groups, if you will, so maybe close to a dozen people that are wanting to be volunteers for this event. So I just kind of did the connections, and I think Dan, you and Ben talked, and the only thing Ian had asked for was if there could be some magnolias as possible, and Ben said yes, that's possible. So Ian didn't say they all needed to be magnolias, but his wife does like magnolias, so it seems like we can do with that. And so kind of what we wanted to do tonight was, as Dan had alluded to in our conversation, was bringing in parks because we felt like having the guys, his group, volunteer to help plant some of these trees. We didn't want to do that on the street necessarily, where I think we need trees as well. So we basically said, let's get the tree board together to see what we can do and make a plan. We brought in Matt Etu, who is another trustee, Ian, he's the liaison to parks. So since they're going to go in the parks, we thought, well, let's bring in parks to this and put our heads together and see what we can put together. Did I cover everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Ian. It's
Yes,
an
thank
awesome
you.
present. Well, you better get a big hug for that one. So when Ben and I talked about this, and like Al mentioned, it would definitely make, I think it would just be more impactful as a gift, and just a better off project in general to do in the parks. Rather than, I mean, what are you going to do? Drive around and look at the trees that were planted for your wife's 50th? It's, you're better off going to a park. And so we sort of started leaning that way. And then that way we can keep our regular planting separate from this to some degree, and maybe get a little more creative with it in the parks. Ben and I went out to Glen Park today and easily found 50 spots. And I don't know if that, I mean, I don't know what, let me ask you this, are you leaning toward one area of the village more than another, or spread out, or? Oh, I think you're muted.
I don't think he's muted, but his mic might be off.
No,
No. Well, I can tell you this, Dan. I think he was hoping to do some in Island Park, and I know because of LWRP, we had to be careful where we put them on Island Park.
Right.
And they're also going to use the pavilion at Island Park for the day of the planting for his group that's going to help plant the trees. So now that doesn't mean that we couldn't potentially move their gathering to Glen Park if we wanted to, but that one's going to be a busier park more than likely. So he's coming back in to see if that works. I mean, still think yeah, your mic, it doesn't want to pick up on it. You have to love technology these days.
well, when you finally figure it out, it's great.
Yeah.
Right.
Ian, there may be a call-in number. I don't know. Was there a call-in number? You could mute yourself.
Yes,
and then-
it was on the
email?
first, the email that Keaton sent us.
Yeah, there's a dial-in by number. Do you see it there, Ian, in the email? If you want, I can give it to you. If you can hear me okay. Yeah, it's 929-205-6099. The ID is 830-1022-2215. And then when you're ready for the passcode, I'll give you that. You need a passcode? Nine five eight zero. Oh, you don't need it?
No.
Oh, you're good? Okay.
No.
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on. Like, not my
I think-
computer. Okay, so what I was about to say before all that is, I was kind of hoping some of them might be in, I don't know the name of the park. It's South Long.
Oh, yeah, South Long Park, yep.
I don't know if we could do some there and some in Glen.
In Island,
Island would be fine as well.
okay.
But just, we spent a lot of days when my kids were growing up in that South Long Park.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we're rescheduling. That's why we brought parks in this too, is that we didn't want to put them in places that when we rework South Lawn, that it would interfere with these trees. So, so Matt, I don't know if you have an idea on that, or trees, if you guys have any thoughts on that park as well.
Sure. So South Long is, it's on the docket to be, gutted and completely renovated. The first big project this year will be to relocate the tennis courts and basketball courts over to the intersection of South Long and Village Square Lane, essentially where the ball diamond is right now. I actually spent the day working on that project and trying to sort of block out the areas that are going to be disturbed versus those that will be left completely untouched, to try and figure out if there were places to place trees in South Long. And it seems, for the record, there was a lot of interest in the most recent park survey and in past park survey to put more trees into South Long. So it definitely sort of fits with the overall master plan. It's just a matter of finding where to put them. So the best place, in my opinion, right now, if it wanted to be in the sort of the greater South Lawn, like Great Lawn area that's between the International Chimney Building and Village Square Lane, would be to position them up closer to Village Square Lane, essentially to the west of the restroom, the bathroom, in the same general depth as the parking lot that's up there right now. Short of that, I would say the next best place would be Lehigh Trail.
Right.
Okay.
And that was one of the,
Fine. And if, you know, if we could throw 5 on Lehigh Trail, 5 in Long Park, and the rest elsewhere, that would be fine.
there's probably a lot more room at, a lot more room for than just 5 trees in South Lawn Park, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
What size trees are we talking about here? Like 30-foot centers, 20-foot centers?
Well, I guess it depends on the placement, and it depends on the plan. I mean, that if you have, you know, if you have an idea of where there's going to be walkways or whatever, but wherever, you know, kind of our mantra has been, wherever there's wide open sky and no wires, we try and get the biggest species in as possible, unless it's lining a walkway, and then we kind of go with a medium-sized tree like, you know, Island Park.
Sure.
You know, it's, you don't necessarily want to plant absolute monsters everywhere. But
Can you see my screen?
yes,
Okay, so this is the survey of South Long Park. It's a bit of a mess. Let me turn something off here. So Village Square Lane's across the top of the page. The pervious pavement parking lot is right here. The bathroom is this little blue rectangle here.
right.
And you can see the new work on the left is where the ball diamond, the basketball court will go.
Uh-huh.
There is space allocation for the soccer field, which you can see here, the
Uh-huh.
rectangle.
Yep.
So I'm eyeing this area right here
Okay.
as
Perfect.
kind of like a opportunity for orchard
Mhm.
space.
Well,
And that's a
Um,
substantial area. I mean, that's, let me see. Say 60 feet across and upwards of 150 feet long.
right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And when we plant them, you know, 15, 20 feet apart, that could be, now, we don't have to jam the whole thing up with trees, obviously, but
Right.
you know, we could get, I don't know, we could get 15 in there alone, probably, in you know, strategically placed. Are those existing right there?
The little red ones, yes.
Yeah,
Those were
Mhm.
put in but with the DiDonato project.
okay,
So those circles I just put in, those are 20-foot radiuses.
right,
So you could start plunking in trees, you know, here
yeah, and stagger the row.
and stagger the row, which is pretty consistent with what's happening, what was done along South Long here, where they went bing, 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 bing. And those are like 20-foot centers as well. So those are kind of small ornamentals.
Okay, so I guess I have 2 questions, and well, one question for sure. Can you find out what those trees are for? Well, you know what? I'll ask Ben. But if Matt, can you send, does Ben have a copy of this?
He has the original survey.
Can you like send him a copy of this? So we just know.
Yeah. I will as soon as I'm
Yeah,
done with it.
understood.
Yeah, these were not labeled by the surveyor.
Okay, Ben, I'm sure he knows what they are, or they're on our tree survey. If that was done in time, or it was done before one of the update we had done. I just asked that question because we don't want to plant anything south of that will choke those out. And you know,
Right.
Sure.
that will grow bigger because that, you know, that's the south side of the sky. So, no, that's a great idea. And then we can even maybe what's further east, like up, I know there's river birches.
These are,
Yeah,
these are what's there along South Long right now.
oh, just a
Mhm.
small, yeah, decorative, okay.
And then you can see what's going on along Village Square Lane. Unfortunately, Google hasn't been down Village Square Lane recently, so
Okay,
there's not, you can't see what's going on there.
well, that's an easy, but just from that, looking up that, you know, to the south of those little red ones there, that's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got nothing but sky. If you're, oh, you can see, gets all fuzzy, but you know, like this tree is gone. That was gone with the DiDonato thing. I think these are the little ones that were on the survey, the little red ones.
Okay,
So, you know,
yeah,
there's
The whole
not much
area.
to them here. But I mean, we could easily go, and these may not even be there anymore either. They may have been either picked up and relocated, or maybe they worked around them somehow. I'm not sure. But
There's
maybe
some
that
in
one's still
there.
there.
There's
Is that
trees
one
in
in the-
between those, but I don't know if those are in there.
Yeah, that tree is long gone, that big
Yep.
one. It looks like they may have either been relocated or they were just abandoned and replaced.
yeah, it's probably what happened.
But I mean, you know, we could put them in 30 foot away easily enough and stagger them. You know, and you could get quite a bit of, you know, sort of tree area in here.
Um,
A line of magnolias there, she would love. If
yeah,
you will.
you know what? Yeah, well, everybody has my phone number here, so Ian, I'm gonna give you my phone number. Although this is a, okay, you're,
They get fairly large.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say 40 or 50.
and it's 70 feet
Right.
tall.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they
So
tend to be more of a, like a clump or a bush form. They don't always, Ben says they don't necessarily get super huge.
Yeah, I mean, this says from 8 foot to 70 foot. So,
Right,
you know,
And they're
and these
Right
things-
at
multi-stemmed.
50 feet.
which is good for a park.
hmm
So,
They're fun to climb too. We used to climb them as kids. There was a couple up the street from us.
I mean,
Al,
so
can
Yes,
you
sir.
email Ian my phone number, please?
Yep, sure. Yep, I'll do that.
Okay. And then we'll exchange phone numbers, Ian, and then we can touch base on, you know, when we get a little further into the planning, but we're gonna have to move on this.
if we wanted
What,
to,
what's that, Matt?
I was gonna say, if we wanted to do magnolias, I'd say probably more like 30 to 40 foot on center.
Mhm.
Right.
And then
Well-
that might actually,
Yeah, but well, Ben will be able to give us the, you know, that's his
that's his bailiwick.
yeah. And he'll be able to keep an eye on him over there too. A close eye on him.
Right.
So we also discussed, so like in the back to the Glen Park thing is maybe planting some pines on with this on the northern border, which would basically shield the view from the tennis center from the park. So, you we wouldn't have to look at that giant white dome from the park. Some people probably like it, but it's kind of an eyesore for a park. So I don't know how you feel about, that as well. I don't know,
We
maybe
lost
if you
your volume
lean,
again.
Getting away
No.
with it.
oh. When
Go
you
ahead.
were up close to the mic, we could hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
As long as it's not in the way of the sledding hill.
right. No, they're not. No. Trust me, that came up today. But now, shifting off of this, are there any, shifting off, making it exclusively Glen Park, we're gonna have to find some more areas in South Long. Island, there's probably a few spots staying away from the banks. But I am gonna have to check with Ben with that. Matt, I don't know if you, I don't know if you have a way in about Island Park, what to stay away from, where to go. I know there's a couple spots like right over the bridge that we lost stuff on that could probably use a little shot in the arm.
Mhm.
Just
So
writing
here's
this down.
Island. So this area here that's in green,
I don't think
that's the new playground.
I'm not getting it.
Yeah, we still see,
All right, hang on.
there you go. Back in.
Better?
Yep.
Yep, we can see that.
Okay, so the area in green there, that's the new playground.
Okay.
So we don't want to get too close to that. We located everything based on the existing trees that are pretty substantial there anyway. We don't want to mess with the Great Lawn,
Nope.
but there are opportunities in the old pool.
Mhm.
This area right here is currently reserved for pavilion for a band shell.
Right.
So not there. And then basically the tip back here is fair game, with the caveat, of course, that, we got to leave room for the beer tent.
Right.
I don't want to get in the way of that at all.
But this starts to lose landmass pretty quickly. And I don't know how far away from the banks we want to stay.
Yeah, our thought there, Matt, was to stay away from the banks as much as possible and then find out where the LWRP was gonna land with
Right.
some of these decisions.
Yeah.
If you pull it down more, just over the bridge, like over near the bathrooms, there used to be a couple big ash trees. There was 2 big ash
Right.
trees there, like one
Mhm.
right there, maybe, like,
Here.
no, just a little down to, no, other way.
Yep,
Up and
that
up.
one right there.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah, right in there.
Yeah. Well, this tree right here is massive,
Right.
and we don't want to impose any further potential, fall hazard or anything on the playground. So, we have some opportunity over here, but again, you're getting into this kind of weird low-lying area along the north bend of the island,
Right.
into the channel. So,
Well-
the other thing is we could come back over here. We've got the ornamentals along the driveway.
Well,
A couple
those are lindens, actually. Those are a little bit bigger than ornamentals. There may be some more ornamentals off closer to the bank there, but there has been some loss in there over the last few years.
So, I would say your opportunity would be along here.
Mhm.
on the west side of the driveway and in the pool area.
Okay,
Though these are pretty substantial, this cluster here. So you may not get a lot of daylight on the east side of that cluster.
well, that's where I'm gonna borrow Ben for a couple hours in an afternoon this week, if you don't mind. And put an eye on Island and South Long. Maybe even tomorrow.
Doing that.
Hey, Dan, I know the LWRP, that's still pretty much a work in progress. And did Wendy say, once we did submit the document to the New York State Department of State, it could be upwards of a year before we hear from them? Or am I misinterpreting something?
No, from my recollection, Matt, I don't remember if you remember, but it could be a year before we hear anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
so it's-
that clock already started ticking.
In what sense, Matt?
Portions of the LWRP have already been submitted.
Okay, I was not aware of that. Okay,
Yeah, so they kind of do it piecemeal, is my understanding.
yeah.
Um,
So my ultimate question, Matt, was going to be that, as you know, so across from Island Park on the eastern bank of the creek, that strip of the village land that runs behind the homes on Oak Grove. And I
Over
know
here.
that they want to do some native plantings there, including trees. Is it worthwhile at this point to consider maybe planting some trees on that bank now?
That's a good question. I didn't know that. I mean, I guess maybe we can ask that of Wendy and find out,
Okay,
if we're getting ahead of ourselves.
yeah, I
there
just
is-
don't know until we get that document approved. And again, that bank is so critical, but the need was expressed to clear out all the non-invasive stuff there and put in native vegetation, including trees, to help stabilize the creek bed. Just a thought. I don't know if I'm putting the cart before the horse here or not. It just may be too early in the ballgame to go down that road.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing will be access.
Right.
Because obviously this project is about putting trees in the ground. So, I mean, we're not going to want to do all the clearing and get into the banks of the creek here. But I mean, if there was easy access to plunk some trees in along the rear property lines of the Oak Grove neighbors, as far away from the bank as you can get, it certainly would be an interesting place to start.
Right. So I guess the answer is that's a conversation we need to have with Ben down the road to see if it's feasible.
Yeah, even if he has access. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm not that familiar with it, but like back here in the back corner of Ed Young's property, is there a way to get into this sliver from their property, or is
Oh,
it drop off?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, there's a sliver. I don't know how wide it is. Ben could tell you that. I don't know if Ryan can get his front end loaded through there or not, but there is access at that point.
It looks
yeah, I
like
think
it's
we do.
10 feet.
Yeah. From what I recall, I think Ben said when we talked recently that they have access to that. They could get back.
Okay. All right. Well, as I said, just a thought. I don't know if it's too
Sure.
early in the game.
So that's a possibility too. I don't actually
Okay.
know what's in there right now. This survey didn't do trees on that side, so.
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Ian, I think you were about to say something before Nick spoke.
Oh, just if Dan was going to some of the parks tomorrow and he was open to me possibly joining, I'm off tomorrow.
okay. Here, I'll just write down my phone number.
Yep.
It's 716
Yep,
430
yep,
1216.
okay.
And you'll probably have to leave me a message. Unfortunately, I don't pick up for unfamiliar numbers these days.
Yeah.
It's always someone trying to sell me a warranty.
The man who just gave out his cell phone on a public meeting.
Yeah, okay. I knew that. It's not like it's not out there. So, okay, we can, I'm gonna call Ben, first thing in the morning. And, I don't know what his schedule is. It's all gonna depend on him. If I can get him later in the afternoon, then I don't know, maybe that's when it happens, but, I'll, shoot me a text, let me, and get, so I have your number and then I can call you and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Um,
But it sounds like we've got a decent plan, I think, for Ian. You could probably work in South Long and then have you guys maybe do some at Island Park because you guys are going to use the pavilion kind of probably at the end of your day, I'm guessing, for a little celebration for your wife on Island Park. So maybe start in South Long and then you guys move to Island. So, and then the rest could just go into Glen Park. And DPW could probably plant those because I think that would be a heavy lift for you to do all of those for a dozen people.
Yeah, I don't know how many, I might have in the mid-20s.
Okay,
Oh,
all right. That's great.
yeah, that, I mean, all we can do is, well, first of all, we need to find out that we can get these trees in time. That, and so that may be part of the limitations there.
Okay.
We can always stake them, the sites too,
Okay,
and if they're not all available in time, and because believe it or not, it's not like we have a big problem getting them, but the trees they're tending to be at a bit of a premium right now around
Good.
the area. Last couple of years, we mostly got what we wanted, but it was a little bit of a hustle.
yeah, I remember we had to. Well, Ben had checked to make sure we could,
Okay,
that we did have stock because that was one of the first things I started with Ben because that was one of Ben's concerns was, can we get trees, in time? And then the second one was staff wise of kind of pre-digging some of the holes depending on, if we're looking at 150 a tree, then that it gave us a decent sized tree. So he did
Okay.
do some checking before we kind of went down the rabbit hole. So
Okay.
maybe there's some limitations on some of the ones that we want. So maybe depending on what's available, maybe if not all 50 are available for that time, maybe the ones that these guys are going to plant in South Long and Island, and then the others can go down in Glen Park
okay.
if they can't come in in time. Does that sound like a viable plan to you, Ian, as well? I think we lost you again, your sound. You're good, okay, all right.
And being that this is a gift essentially to the village, we don't have to go through a bidding process for these either, I would assume, correct?
I didn't check on that fact or not. So,
I don't think, I wouldn't think we would have to.
I don't think it's gonna tip over I think our procurement policy does not require that we go to great lengths like we do when it's a bigger planting. Because it's a lot
Right.
more money. I think
Right,
when it's
but-
under 10,000, we can get quotes and then go. So it can move quicker.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
And it's not our money, right? I mean, that's really.
right, that's what I'm saying. It's
Right,
not our money.
right.
Right.
So step one, I think that what we should do is probably get out there and put stakes in the ground where we're thinking, you know
Yep.
what I mean? Because we could stand around and talk about it and speculate where they're gonna go and all day long, and then, that stuff gets bounced around. If we can get some stakes in the ground and determining where they're gonna go, I think that would be a big step. And then we can, you know, if we can determine 50 sites with 50 species, at however many species that is, 2, 3, 4. You know, and then just order them, then we're on a good schedule then.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Well, that's why it's probably good if you guys did meet tomorrow, kind of get an idea of spaces and then what goes in those spaces, and then go ahead and start with availability to see what is available and can deliver in time.
Okay. All right,
So,
very good.
all right.
I'll touch base with Ben early in the morning. Can you give clearance for Ben for me tomorrow?
Yes, well, I don't work for the village tomorrow, but Matt sure can.
Oh, if you called him
Well,
now, that'd be kind of jerky.
But tonight I
yeah,
say
I mean,
yes.
I have no control over what Ben does on any given moment of the day or not. So, you know, it's fine with me.
Okay,
Um,
all right,
if he's available, you know, you know best.
okay. I'll check with him at like 7 a.m. It's, you know, usually when he's in or heading in anyway.
I
So,
can shoot him a quick text now if you want, just see what he says while we're still on the call.
preface it with, this is my last official act of you.
Right.
Last official ask of you, I should say. All right, good.
You
If you're-
guys want to target for in the morning is what you're saying?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know what's it like for you, Ian. Does it matter?
I'm flexible.
Okay. The earlier the better for me.
Okay,
You know, as early as 7:30, 8 o'clock works. He's probably gonna have some stuff to deal with like he normally does when he first comes in, so. Rich and Nick. Oh, are you in Arizona, Nick?
Yes, I am, Dan.
Okay.
Well, hurry up because they're meeting in like 8 hours. So like, you know,
he can just
Yeah,
bring his
hurry up.
private jet back.
There you go, right.
All right, we'll see what Ben says. Matt, because you have to go to planning board?
yeah, I
Matt?
was gonna say, are you guys done with me now?
I think so.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Keep me apprised.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Matt.
Ian. Bye now.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess we're, you know, just take that step and get the stakes in the ground, take it from there. So,
Okay,
you know, Ian, if you want to hang it out, feel free. If not, we have I have a couple things to bounce off these guys, and it's not an official meeting, so. I'm sorry, we couldn't hear you.
I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
meeting everybody.
Okay, well,
All right.
thank you,
I'll
Ian.
talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, very generous of you. Thank you.
thanks,
Thank
Ian.
you.
Good to meet you.
Good luck, Al.
Thank you.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Fantastic. Yeah. Very nice.
And he's actually not a village resident. You know, that was one of my first questions. And I said, not that it matters. And he says, no, he's like, we've done tree plantings and with us before. I think he did with the Girl Scouts maybe at some point. And I think he might have been with one of our tree plantings. And so as you heard him, he said they've used South Lawn before, so they know of the park. But yeah,
Right.
they live right on the edge of the village. And he just wanted to give back to the community that he's used. So I think it's a great story, but he didn't really want a big to do about it. And so we were really careful as far as honoring his wishes, you know, of not putting something in the bee and all this stuff. He's very, you know, meek and, you know, he's just really a nice guy.
He looks familiar. I think I remember him from one of those tree plantings, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yep. I thought it's a real nice gesture.
yeah,
Very
absolutely.
So,
So we don't have to worry about the approving the minutes because we don't have an agenda. I will send you guys, I mean, really all I had for the spring planting sites. Ben handed me a list today. He must have drove around at some point last week and he said he found at least 100 spots.
Wow.
And like we predicted, up this north central area and like Brookside, Cadman, Monroe, a bunch of spots. I guess I'm looking at the picture now. And a couple scattered ones, you know, Chalmers, Evans, Howard, South Cayuga, the ones on Oak Grove, a couple on Garrison. So they're kind of spread out. A lot on Hirschfield. And a lot on Hirschfield, Monroe, and Oak Grove seem to be the concentrated areas here. So I will play around with it. I'll send you guys pictures of this, the pictures he sent me or I took of his list, and I don't know, just make it. I'll whittle it down to make logistical sense, and decide on our 55 to 60 from there.
Okay. Hey, Dan, I know the beautification committee would be interested in another tree in the 1812 garden, the old
Okay.
triangle garden. And I think I'm sure that Deb Hayes has probably talked to Ben about that. There might be room for more than one tree. But that's something that maybe we should look at.
Maybe we use a couple of those gift trees there too.
Yeah. that
Yeah, I was
a
possibly
suggestion.
thinking of that. Yeah,
Yeah, whatever that species is in there, I remember a fall or two ago, I helped clean out that triangle and they had babies everywhere. And I literally was on my hands and knees picking out seedlings out of those stones and stuff. It's terrible. It's a great tree, but it's a bad spot for that tree. I think.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That may have been the wrong sex, actually.
Maybe.
Okay.
Because that was Joy Keebler's design, and I
Right.
can't imagine that was part of the thought there. Those were not were they lace bark elms or?
That sounds right.
I don't think, well,
But I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I remember whatever it was, we were kind of using that already, but that was a separate order. That's why I'm thinking it may have been the wrong sex that went in there. I don't know. So is that what they call it in plants? Is it sex or gender? I think it's sex.
I don't know.
Anyway, let's see. Yeah, I'll bounce it off Ben today. I'm gonna just
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna take my notes from tonight, and this is just planning. So,
Yeah, I think I had suggested, not that you have to do it, but I know we did it at our old house and my brother-in-law did it, those centennial oaks, because they don't put anything towards sex. So they grow fairly quickly and then they don't drop those seeds at all. So they're asexual, right? So
Yeah,
it's a nice looking tree.
yeah. Or did you mention to Eric O'Neill that we're trying to get as many oaks in on Oak Grove as possible?
Yeah, but that's why I gave him your phone number.
Oh, okay. I can't give him Al's number anymore, so.
That's right.
I don't know who's coming in, but I'm gonna make a suggestion to maybe somehow tie the couple of these, either Glen Park or parks in together with trees, because it was always it was a lot more convenient and a little easier,
Right.
less step when it was usually the same liaison.
Right.
And they're related, you know,
Yep.
so I don't
And
know,
that's a
maybe,
question I had, Dan. Are you gonna have to get the Glen Park joint board on board for all those trees up at the northern end?
well, I think so, but it is in their plan.
Okay,
So, I mean, if we decide to go in, really all you need to do is probably, you know, DPW would have to check with the chair. Right, and I'm certainly willing to reach out, and then whoever our liaison is at the time, and this will be soon, you know, reaches out, well, who, Eileen is the Glen Park joint, but so
I
I'll just
believe
reach
so.
out to her, let
Yeah.
her know, and then, I don't know who the, Amherst liaison is, but, that, I guess it doesn't matter to us. The, but if it's in the plan, it's in the plan. So,
I
right.
can't see the guys having a problem. I think you just should have Eileen let them know, this is moving fairly quickly. And just to
Right.
run it past them to say, here's what we're thinking, you guys thinking what we're thinking.
right. Okay. So like I said, I'll just take all these notes to Ben tomorrow, and I'm in the middle of painting Ben's house. Ben and I are gonna get sick of each other real quick.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to think if there's anything I really need to, I mean, the emerald ash borer, I found some of the list from the last time, but I'm gonna get the final list from, guy who was the company, whoever did it before, I'm gonna get their final list and then take a look at that. Rich or Nick, Nick, if you're in town, Rich, you want to go along, sometime soon, probably near the end of May. We'll have to go and, after these trees leaf out a little bit, and take a look at these
Right.
ash, see what might
okay.
have some issues, and then start compiling that list like we normally do.
And do we have to put that out to bid, correct, Dan?
Yes.
Okay,
Although, that's a good question, right? Because, in a way, I guess we kind of fall into a preferred services there because we are using the injection method, right? So
Right.
that kind of eliminates anybody that's not using injection
oh,
method,
okay,
because our trees already have the ports in them,
right,
and it never goes above 10 grand. Right? So
Right.
that's not really, if we're using a preferred services thing. Fire used to do this all the time, and it that's kind of how I learned that is an efficient method, right? If you're off by a couple $100, but you know who you're dealing with, and you already have established a relationship and there's good communication, what's $200 in that situation?
right,
You
okay,
could probably they could also issue the village a sole source letter. We do it in our company too. So if they're the only vendor that can provide the service that we want in the area, they can usually provide a sole source letter.
Okay. I think it was $6 grand last year, 50, I want to say 5750 or something like that,
Yep.
So, and it may be less. A couple ash have come down. I don't know if they were inoculated ones, so we'll see where it goes. But that's really, other than that, the removal behind the Oak Grove properties hasn't started yet. Ben said he was actually going to check with them today, when I saw Ben earlier, so I don't know where that's at. But it's on their schedule. It's just a matter when they do it. It still could be kind of swampy back there. I don't know. I've never been back there, and apparently someone started taking one down, whatever. Thanks. But then again, are we gonna get charged for that? Maybe that'll adjust our bill.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I mean, I don't have anything, and this, really isn't an official meeting anyway. Do you guys have anything, any thoughts that, just so I can start? Essentially, I'm just gonna roll this agenda to the next meeting.
Right.
A couple
Hey,
things will
Dan, just-
change.
Just real quick, earlier you referenced the tree survey. Is that up to date?
Probably not, although,
Okay,
was it 2 summers ago? That
At
Ben
least.
had those interns in and they
Right.
did something, but I never saw it. I haven't gone to that and I don't know how long.
okay.
But Ben is using it. I think he used it in part for this list that he formulated. But both, like I said, Ben and I are kind of, well, I'll be in the clear with my inoculation in 3 days. And he's been in the clear. So, we're kind of in the same germ pool right now anyway. So if him and I get together and start poking around in this, like the next month or two, I don't, that wouldn't bother me at this point. Because we do have, I'm sure we have entries to do. The last 3 plantings, and I have all that stuff. It's just a matter of entering it. I would really like to update this whole procedure with our lists and do the planting list, start doing the planting lists on Excel. And then somehow through Excel, then make that automatic to roll it right into the
Right.
survey. That would make the most sense, but I need guidance on that. I'm not, I mean, I could do basic Excel stuff, and with a little bit of help, I'm sure I could get a lot better at it. But using it beyond the program itself, like rolling it into that survey, I would, that's something that's for somebody else.
All right, so maybe at one time, Dan, we can talk about that. My son's pretty much a wizard at Excel. And I
Okay.
might be able to get him to throw a couple hours at it just to get us started and show us some
Oh.
shortcuts.
That'd be awesome.
All right.
Yeah, had the opportunity when I was in 20 years ago, when I was in school. Excel was kind of, well, even longer than that. It was kind of new.
Right.
Started learning, and then just, like kicking bass pedals on the Hammond at 12 years old. All of a sudden I could do it, and then I stopped. Big mistake.
Yeah.
Rich, you got any thoughts for
Actually, no, but I've been missing at meetings and so on. I just wonder myself, are we settled on spring planting? Not planting, but potted things that we were going to be giving out?
Oh,
What is
yeah.
it? Late
Yeah,
this
there was
spring?
ordered. They were ordered.
Yeah,
The pickup date is probably in a couple. I want to say the 21st is sticking in my mind.
okay.
It's a Saturday. I haven't gone and gotten them in a while. I think Ben's been doing that because he goes out there anyway.
Okay,
The 24th, I would have to say. It's usually that third week or whatever, that week of April. But yeah, that's all set.
okay.
Yeah,
And-
Dan, Ben just got back to me, said, sure. So you're good for tomorrow. So
Okay.
hopefully you'll get a text from Ian and you guys can connect, bring him in the loop. And then I was thinking for that weekend, that Arbor Day planting, if everything goes off that weekend, is if one of you guys could just kind of oversee them planting or whatever. Sounds like maybe we pre-dig them or whatever, but maybe have somebody, if they're gonna be helping, with the planting, if somebody would be available, just as a technical person to say, yeah, you've got that covered good enough or whatever.
Well, yeah, back to that. I'm glad you brought that up. I would like to try and get these in a little earlier, like, maybe even in like 2 weeks. And I would prefer that they, no offense to anybody, but, and if he's done tree plantings before, he probably has a decent understanding of it.
Mhm.
But if we could get some of them in, if the DPW could get some of them in, that would be great.
Yeah.
It would save a lot of time that day. I think they're, I don't think they realize that planting 50 trees that size is,
No, I don't think he was one to do all 50. That's why I was thinking if if they did some of the ones on Island and some of the ones on South Long to
Right.
give, because he said, sounds like he's got about 20 people that can put things in the ground. So you should be able to, even if everybody took a tree or two
right.
and did,
Yeah, but these aren't, gotta keep in mind, these
they're
aren't,
good size.
these
Yeah.
aren't bare root.
Yeah, no, I know.
And so what, we can leave everything at Island,
Okay.
have the holes dug, have the trees put down next to them.
Yep.
And then maybe, leave some of them at South Long and the Memory Trail. I'm thinking just to soften the blow with any concerns that may come about through Glen Park, that DPW handles that.
Yep.
Then we're not into that joint insurance thing and all that. So,
Right.
I
Yeah, I
would
agree.
just,
I think focus them on Island and South Long for the day of.
yeah. So yeah, I'll run all this stuff by Ben tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm just gonna write this down.
And I also connected when he came into Village Hall today. He met Deb and Keaton, so that way there's contact. So that way, once I'm gone, he has somebody to reach out to. He'll have your number. So I just want to make sure he has contacts to kind of stay in the loop with everybody. So,
Yeah,
so I'm glad we were able to make this work for them. I think I love the story. It's awesome. So. And I
Yeah.
may actually come back for it for the weekend if I can, depending on
Yeah.
what's going on. So,
you're gonna be licking your wounds from the move. What are you talking about?
I know, I didn't say a promise, I said it, but in the back of my head, I'm like, that would be really nice. So,
All right, well, and so today is your last official day, huh?
today is my last official day. I turned in my fob and my village key and all that stuff. So
Huh.
I'm officially kaput after this meeting.
Wow,
My
Wow.
heart's still in it, but I'm not official anymore.
it's not an official meeting, so you're not official anyway.
That's right.
Well, I guess a planning meeting, sort of official,
Yeah,
semi-official, kind of like you with the way you came in, semi-official.
right, exactly. Yeah,
Well, it was good working with you. And
I enjoyed it. It was fun, Dan.
yeah, I'm gonna, it was a long time.
Yeah, it was.
I was thinking about that the other day, like, the whole, God, the whole dissolution thing started
Yeah,
essentially in late '09.
yeah,
right?
it was. Yeah,
And I don't think I met you until like early 10, right? In those meetings when people were stealing the mailing lists and whatnot.
yeah, yeah. I was in the background. I did the website, is what I
Right.
did. Right. So I came to some of the meetings. I was there early on, but I did most of the website stuff.
Well, it's been fun.
It's been a fun ride.
I'll keep you posted on this stuff.
Okay,
uh,
yeah, shoot me a text or if I can answer questions.
And I don't know if I have your regular email address.
The Al Yates, the Hotmail one that I have.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Maybe it's still in my
It may
Yeah,
be. If you can't find it, text me. I'll send it to you.
yeah, okay,
Actually, what I'll do is I'm gonna forward you the email from Ian, so that way you have his email address as well, and then you'll be able
Okay,
to get
good.
mine, because I think I have that in my personal account. No, it's still my
Okay.
village. But I'll reply to his and to you from my personal,
okay,
and then
All
that
right.
way he can email me as well.
all right, excellent.
All right,
All right. Well, I guess. Yeah, we got some stuff done tonight, so,
Yes, we did.
how's everything going in Arizona? Weather
It's
good?
heating up, Dad. Heating up. We got to 95 yesterday. 94 is probably the high today. So it's getting to the point where it's just too hot to do anything outside.
Yeah,
that is hot.
Yeah.
yesterday was beautiful here and this morning, but today did the typical, sunny and nice and at noon, and then by 4:30 it was, winter hat and winter jacket time, as
Right.
as early April does, but yeah, a lot of, it's so far it's been a really nice spring.
Good.
The birds are hey, and my neighbor spotted a turkey vulture in Island Park hanging out in one of the
Really?
trees.
Oh, no
Which-
kidding.
Yeah, which he sent me a picture of it. He thought maybe at first he thought maybe it was an eagle because it had like those big scalloped feathers, but
Mhm.
I'd never seen it. But then I
Right.
took a closer look at the picture, and it's got the ugly vulture head on it.
Yeah.
And but I've never seen one in a tree over there. And not even, less than 10 years ago, you hardly ever saw them at the top of the escarpment. They were mostly at the bottom of the escarpment. So yeah. So they saw a couple carcasses and a pile of feathers with nothing. So yeah. Cleaning up some of the rodents and smaller birds, I guess.
Yeah, a couple days ago, I was struggling up a hill on my bicycle and a turkey vulture is just circling me. And I'm thinking, man, I got to be out of shape. If that thing thinks I'm going to drop and he's going to pick me up hard on the roadway. And it's a kind of an ominous sight, it's just, you can just see the shadow going in a circle around me for
Oh man,
100 feet or something. It flips you out.
it's almost kind of like being in a cartoon.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, well, I'll let you guys get going.
Okay, Dad.
I'll keep you all posted and at what happens tomorrow, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you for everything, Al.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Al,
Thank you
thanks again
guys.
for your help. Enjoy.
Yes,
Thanks,
sleeping.
guys. It's been fun.
All right.
Bye,
Take it
guys.
easy.
I'll see you around the village.
Take it easy. Yeah,
Cheers.
thanks, Al.